Hello friends, welcome back to Cooking with DeeDee. And boy, do I have a treat for you all today. I feel like it's past time that I cook dinner for you. So today I'm going to make for you some baked catfish fillets with the creamy seafood sauce on top. I'm not sure if it's seafood Appaloosa or seafood pontchartrain, so I'm just going to settle with calling it creamy seafood sauce, okay? Make sure you pat dry your catfish fillets. I'm going to use my usual favorite seasonings. I'm starting off with some white pepper. Now I'm going to add some onion powder, and that's the microwave you hear. I'm melting some butter because I'm also going to use melted butter. I'm going to add some garlic powder, my favorite Cajun seasoning. You can use whatever you have. I toddle between Tony Satcheria's and Slap Your Mama Cajun seasoning. And no, it's not sponsored. This video is not sponsored. Let me say that now. All right. Some oregano flakes, dried oregano flakes. And as you can see, I'm not using a measuring spoon or anything, but I will write this recipe up with some generic measurements. I prefer you just let your ancestors guide you, though. All right, I love that W sauce. I'm not going to even try and say it today because I've been talking twisted tongue all day today. This is a game changer here. Some smoked paprika is going to give it a nice little flavor, and it's going to give it its coloring. All right, I'm saturating all the seasonings in well. And I usually don't wear gloves. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm using one hand. When I cook for my family, I don't use gloves. But because this is raw fish, I am going to do it today. I sprinkled a little bit of salt. Not too much, just a pinch. All right, this butter has melted. I'm going to pour about half of it over this fish. Work it in real good. That's also going to give it a little more flavor and help it brown a little more. All right, place your fillets in a lightly oiled baking pan. I'm using an old Pyrex pan. And I bought 2 packs of catfish from the grocery store. So it gave me 5 pieces of catfish, 3 nice large pieces and 2 smaller ones. And I'm an empty nester, so this should cover us for about 2 days. All right, it's placed in the pan, and now I'm going to go back over it and drizzle the remaining melted butter. I'm going to place this in the oven on 400 for about 15-20 minutes max. And you saw me sprinkle a little more seasoning. I love heavily seasoned food, but like I said, do you let your ancestors guide you on how much seasoning you want. Or just follow my generic recipe, which will be located in the description part of this video. All right, while my fish is in the oven, my mom always taught me to clean as I go, so I'm going to clean this counter. And then we'll go on and get started on the sauce, which is going to be the star of this dish. All right, I have removed the fish from the oven. I'm sorry, I did let it broil for the last 5 minutes on high. And now I'm brushing it with the liquids that the fish created in the pan. I'm going to set that aside and make the seafood cream sauce. You want to start with getting roughly about 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And my skillet is on medium high. Now I've let that melt, and I'm going to add about the same amount of flour. I'm going to make a light roux. That's about 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. You see, I'm using my flat edge spatula. I'm working it in real good, getting all the lumps out. And most of the time, this works out very well for me. Sometimes it doesn't, but right now it's working out pretty good. I don't want it too brown. I want it light brown. Now I'm going to add some chicken broth. And I'm still working it in. Now I'm adding A little more chicken broth. No, I'm sorry, that was my seafood broth. I use both of them, chicken and seafood, so it's not too fishy tasting. And I mixed in some heavy cream. I'm working it in. So just for clarification, I used about 1/4 cup of chicken broth, low sodium, and about 1/4 cup of some seafood stock. And yes, for those of you that want to make your own seafood stock, go right ahead. I didn't buy any shrimp with shells on it, so I keep some on hand. I'm working it in, making sure it's well incorporated. Now I'm adding my seasonings, and I'm honestly using the same seasonings that I use with the fish. And again, I will add a generic recipe for the cream sauce down in the descriptions. I poured in about 3 tablespoons of some, I think this is Stella Rosa white wine. Shout out to my niece who gave this to me back in February. I love that wine. I cook with it. Adding a little bit more, working it in. Now it's time for me to put in my shrimp and let them cook. And these are devein, no tail. And now I'm adding in about 1/2 cup of some crab meat. And please do not use artificial crab. I never use that. I cannot stand that taste. Please don't do that. I just think artificial crab will ruin this dish. All right, I'm working it in. I'm going to let this cook now for about 5 minutes. I don't want to overcook my shrimp. About 5-6 minutes max. Working it in. I'm adding a little more oregano. All right. Now I'm adding in about 1/4 cup to maybe 1/2 of some shredded Parmesan cheese. And I purchased this from the deli. It tastes a lot better than the pre-packaged one over in the sandwich and cheese department. Don't get it from there. Get it from the deli. You want to work that in, and that's going to help your sauce thicken up. Excuse me. I really needed a little bit of cornstarch to thicken up my sauce. I didn't have any on hand, but if you have some on hand, go on and use about 1 tablespoon and work it in so it will help thicken up your sauce. I did give it a little taste test, and I needed a little more seasonings. So I'm going to add a little more paprika. And I almost forgot, let me add a little bit of butter. About 1.5 tablespoons of butter. And this smells so good. All right, it looks really good. It's a little runny, but I'm serving it with my low-carb dirty rice and some kale. All right, friends, we're done cooking, and it's time to dig into this. And I cooked this meal after working today, so I feel really good about that. It was smelling really good during the process. I want to taste this dirty rice. This is the first time I made it this way. It's the banza rice made out of chickpeas. It's higher in fiber and a little less carbs. Not too much, but less than regular white rice. Let's see. That's good. I give it 4 stars. That's really good. All right, let's try this catfish fillet. And I would much rather have caught it myself because I love to go fishing, but I haven't had a chance to go, so I got this off the grocery store. I'm gonna get a bite of shrimp and a bite of fish and the crab. I don't like to see those strings in the catfish. I know that's just the vein, but that's just me. I don't like to see it. All right. That's full of flavor, y'all. That's restaurant quality. Let me take one more bite for you. This is good. This is 5 stars, okay? I love it. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know, what did you think about tonight's dinner? And before I say goodnight or goodbye, spread kindness in the world, okay? America really needs that. Peace.